Welcome back to the Fame Files, Episode 4. And you know what that means, right? We're diving headfirst into the whirlwind of fame and all the craziness that comes with it.
All the ripple effects, you could say.
Exactly. And today we're all about Emily in Paris, specifically what's coming up in Season 5.
Oh, yeah.
Buckle up, because we've got articles from LOS40.US, IMDb, and even US Weekly. And let me tell you, it's going to get juicy.
You know, it's interesting what you were saying about craziness because what we're seeing with Emily in Paris, it goes way beyond the screen, right? We've got presidents chiming in on where the show should be filmed.
I know, right? US Weekly even said that President Macron wants the show to stay put in Paris.
Crazy.
What do you think about a president being so involved in a show's location? Like, that's got to mean something, right?
It really shows you the power of pop culture, you know? Emily in Paris, it portrays Paris as this glamorous place.
Yeah.
And it could be influencing tourism or even changing how people around the world see France. So I get why someone like Macron would care.
It makes you think about the responsibility that comes with making a show like this right. But for all the fans out there who are freaking out about saying goodbye to Paris, the creator Darren Star said that Emily isn't moving to Rome for good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's just splitting her time between the two cities.
Right. From what I've read, Emily's company has an office in Rome, so it's more of a see you later to Paris than a goodbye.
That's a relief for Paris fans.
Yeah, definitely.
But wait, there's more. The rumor mill's churning, and they're saying we might have a third location thrown into the mix for Season 5.
I know, right? People are saying it could be Saint-Tropez or Megève.
Oh, wow.
Imagine Emily in those places. Talk about fashion goals.
Oh, I can already picture those Instagram posts. But okay, let's be real for a sec. The real drama is Emily's love life, and it's messier than ever.
Yeah. Season 4 totally blindsided us with a full-blown love square.
I know.
Okay, so Emily's with Marcello in Rome, right?
Right.
But then Gabriel's back in Paris realizing he might want to fight for her. And on top of that, Alfie's suddenly back in the picture.
It's like a soap opera. And to add even more fuel to the fire, there are hints that Camille might come back into the picture.
Oh, no.
I mean, where do we even begin to unpack this?
I know.
Do you think Emily and Gabriel will actually get back together, or will Alfie coming back throw a wrench into everything? And what about Marcello? Could he actually last?
It's hard to say, but Darren Star has mentioned that the whole romantic fantasy thing is fading for Emily and Gabriel.
Not really.
He's been saying that couples need to get real and go through some shakeups, so it sounds like he's setting us up for some serious relationship drama.
Oh, I definitely sense some heartbreak in the air.
Oh.
Speaking of Alfie, though, I was super excited to see that LOS40.US confirmed that Lucien Laviscount, the actor who plays him, is coming back as a series regular in Season 5.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Fans were pretty bummed that he wasn't in Season 4 as much because he was busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
So him being a series regular now makes it seem like the writers have some big plans for his character.
That's so intriguing. How do you think Alfie's return will change the whole Love Square dynamic? Or should I say Pentagon, if Camille comes back?
Oh, man. It's bound to cause some chaos. The writers have been hinting at unexpected turns in Emily's love life. And remember, Alfie was pretty hurt by Emily's indecisiveness before. So now that he's back in Paris, do you think he'll be more assertive about going after her?
Oh, the drama is brewing. Okay, but we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the elephant in the boulangerie.
What's that?
There's been talk about Lucas Bravo, who plays Gabriel, potentially leaving the show.
Right. He hasn't been shy about how frustrated he is with how Gabriel's character has developed. He feels like Gabriel's become melancholic, sad, depressed, and lost, basically turning into guacamole over the seasons. He even said that the show is supposed to be a comedy where everyone's having fun and he's just slowly sinking into God knows what.
His words definitely had an edge to them. It sounds like he wants Gabriel to have a more dynamic and fun storyline, which I get, considering the show's overall vibe.
Yeah, it's a good point. It really makes you think about the challenges actors face playing the same character over many seasons, especially on a lighthearted show like this.
Totally. And to make things even more complicated, his contract ended after Season 4, but he's still signed on for Season 5.
Oh, wow.
So do you think the writers will take his concerns seriously?
It's hard to know for sure, but this whole situation shows how complex things can get behind the scenes of a hit show. You've got actors with their own creative ideas, writers with their storylines, and sometimes those things just don't match up perfectly.
Yeah, that's true. It's a balancing act for sure.
Absolutely. And it'll be really interesting to see how those dynamics play out in the new season.
Speaking of behind-the-scenes stuff, did you know that IMDb actually ranks the past seasons of Emily in Paris?
Oh, yeah. I love checking those out. It's always fun to see how different fans rank the seasons.
Yeah. Have you looked at them? Any surprises?
There are definitely some mixed opinions, but I think that's part of what makes the show so fun to talk about. It gets people reacting and interpreting things differently.
For sure. But before we get too lost in past seasons, let's bring it back to the present and the future.
Okay.
So we've got Emily potentially juggling her life between Paris and Rome, maybe even adding a third location. And then there's this whole love quadrangle or even pentagon situation with all these guys vying for her attention.
Wow. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It makes you wonder, can the show keep its light and fun tone with all this drama going on?
That's the big question. I mean, part of what makes Emily in Paris so appealing is that it's an escape, right?
Mhm.
The beautiful places, the fashion, the romance.
Yeah,
But it also touches on some real life issues, too.
exactly. It's not just about pretty dresses and fancy food. The show also delves into Emily's career goals, the challenges of navigating different cultures, and the whole journey of finding your place in the world.
So true. And in season 5, we're going to see Emily taking on a new role at her company, working with a different branch and handling international clients. It feels like the writers are pushing her way out of her comfort zone.
For sure. And that raises the stakes for her, both in her career and her personal life. How will she handle the pressure of a more demanding job while also trying to figure out her love life?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I'm also curious to see if they focus more on her career this season.
Yeah,
In past seasons, it felt like the romance storylines overshadowed her professional growth sometimes.
I agree. And showing more of Emily's ambitions could really add another layer of depth to the show. It would let viewers connect with her in a different way beyond just the romantic drama.
Absolutely. Plus, it would tap into something a lot of viewers can relate to, the ups and downs of building a career in a competitive and unpredictable world.
Exactly. And with Emily now working between Paris and Rome, maybe even a third location,
Uh-huh.
there's so much potential for interesting storylines about international business, cultural clashes, and maybe even some ethical dilemmas.
Ooh, ethical dilemmas that could get really juicy.
I know, right?
Imagine Emily caught between her American values and the sometimes shady world of European business.
That would definitely make her character and the show's overall message more complex.
But let's not forget about the fun stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, who doesn't love seeing Emily navigate the fashion world, go to glamorous events, and try new restaurants?
totally. The show wouldn't be the same without those elements of escape and visual delight.
I'm already picturing the outfits, the parties, and all the mishaps that come with Emily's adventurous spirit.
Speaking of mishaps, do you think the show might become a bit more self-aware this season, considering all the talk about Gabriel's character and the potential backlash from Parisians?
Hmm, that's a really interesting question. On one hand, I think acknowledging those criticisms could make the show feel more grounded and relatable.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, if they overdo the self-awareness, it might break the fourth wall in a way that feels weird.
I agree. It's a tricky balance.
Hmm.
They could subtly address those concerns by weaving them into the story without directly referencing the real-world context.
Like, maybe they could give Gabriel a storyline where he rediscovers his love for cooking and finds a new sense of purpose without directly mentioning Lucas Bravo's comments.
Exactly. Show don't tell. Let the characters' actions speak for themselves.
And that way, viewers who know about the behind-the-scenes stuff might pick up on those nuances while others can just enjoy the character development without feeling like they're missing something.
Exactly. It creates a layered experience that works for different levels of engagement.
So as we head into season 5, it seems like Emily in Paris is at a crossroads. It has the potential to become something even richer and more complex while still keeping its charm and escapism.
Yeah, it feels like we're on the edge of something new and exciting with this show.
It does. Now, I have to ask, with all this buzz and potential for change, what are your predictions for season 5? Will Emily find a way to balance her life between Paris and Rome? Or will she end up somewhere completely unexpected?
Well, if I had to bet, I'd say Paris will stay Emily's main home base. We might see her going to Rome more often for work, and maybe even that glamorous trip to Saint-Tropez.
I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
It would be so fun to see her jet-setting between these amazing places, all while rocking incredible outfits, of course.
Yeah.
But what about her love life? Do you think the writers will finally give us some closure?
I think they'll probably drag out the tension between Gabriel and Alfie for a while. Maybe even throw Marcello in there for a few more episodes. But in the end, I think they'll have to give the fans what they want, some kind of resolution to this love triangle.
A resolution. Does that mean a grand romantic gesture? A wedding? Or could it be a shocking breakup that leaves everyone reeling?
Honestly, I wouldn't rule anything out. But I think the most important thing is that the resolution, whatever it is, feels earned and true to the characters and their journeys.
You're right.
Mhm.
We don't want a forced ending just for the sake of tying things up neatly. It needs to feel natural to the story they've been telling.
Exactly. And I think the writers are good enough to make that happen. They've created characters we care about, and we want to see their stories unfold in a way that feels authentic to who they are.
Well said. And I, for one, can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Emily in Paris has definitely become a cultural phenomenon, and it will be fascinating to see where it goes next.
It's a show that sparks conversations and captures our imaginations, and I think that says a lot about its lasting appeal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on that note, we have to say au revoir. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Emily in Paris and all the drama, romance, and fashion that comes with it.
It's always a pleasure to dissect the complexities of fame fiction and the ever-evolving landscape of pop culture.
And remember, listeners, we want to hear from you. Share your own predictions, theories, and burning questions about Season 5 of Emily in Paris. Until next time, stay curious and keep those croissants coming. It really does. And speaking of those lasting appeals, one thing that's always interesting to me is how IMDb ranks the past seasons of Emily in Paris.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's fun to see what fans think of each season.
Right. You check those out at all? Any surprises?
Yeah, I've looked at them. I mean, people have different opinions, but I think that's what's cool about the show. It gets people talking and coming up with their own interpretations.
It totally does. But okay, before we get too sidetracked talking about old seasons, let's get back to what's happening now and what's coming next.
Okay.
So we've got Emily potentially splitting her time between Paris and Rome.
Yeah.
Maybe even throwing in a third location.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole love situation with multiple guys vying for her attention.
It's a lot to keep track of. It makes you wonder, can the show keep that lighthearted vibe with all this drama going on?
That's the million-dollar question. I mean, part of what makes Emily in Paris so addictive is its escapism.
Yeah.
Right? The stunning locations, the fashion, the romance.
Absolutely.
But it also tackles some real-life issues, too.
Yeah, it's not just about pretty clothes and delicious food. It also explores Emily's career goals, the challenges of navigating different cultures, and that whole journey of finding your place in the world.
So true. And in Season 5, it seems like the writers are really pushing Emily out of her comfort zone.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to see her taking on a new role at her company, working with a different branch, and handling international clients.
For sure. And that raises the stakes for her, both professionally and personally. How will she deal with the pressure of a more demanding job while also trying to figure out her love life?
It's a good question. I'm also curious to see if her career takes center stage a bit more this season.
Yeah,
In the past, it felt like the romance sometimes overshadowed her professional growth.
I agree. And focusing more on Emily's ambitions could add a whole other layer of depth to the show. It would give viewers a different way to connect with her beyond the romantic drama.
Totally. Plus, it would tap into something a lot of people can relate to, the struggles and triumphs of building a career in a tough and unpredictable world.
Right. And with Emily working between Paris and Rome, maybe even a third location, there's a ton of potential for storylines about international business culture clashes and maybe even some ethical dilemmas.
Ooh, those ethical dilemmas could get interesting. Just imagine Emily caught between her American values and the sometimes shady world of European business practices.
That would definitely add more complexity to her character and the show's overall message.
For sure. But let's not forget about the fun stuff, too.
Right.
I mean, who doesn't love seeing Emily navigate the fashion scene, attend glamorous events, and experience all those amazing restaurants?
Absolutely. The show wouldn't be the same without those elements of escapism and visual delight.
Exactly. I'm already picturing the outfits, the parties, and all the little mishaps that come with Emily's adventurous spirit.
Speaking of mishaps, do you think the show will lean into being more self-aware this season? With all the talk about Gabriel's character and the potential backlash from Parisians?
That's a good question. On the one hand, I think acknowledging those criticisms could make the show feel more grounded and relatable.
Yeah.
But then again, if they go overboard with the self-awareness, it might break the fourth wall in a way that feels awkward.
That's true. It's a tough balance. They could subtly address those concerns by weaving them into the story without directly mentioning the real-world stuff.
Yeah, like maybe give Gabriel a storyline where he rediscovers his passion for cooking and finds a renewed sense of purpose without directly referencing Lucas Bravo's comments.
Exactly. Show don't tell. Let the characters' actions do the talking.
In that way, viewers who are in the know about the behind-the-scenes drama can pick up on those subtle hints, while others can just enjoy the character development without feeling lost.
It creates a layered experience that works for everyone.
So as we head into Season 5, it seems like Emily in Paris is at a turning point. It could evolve into something even richer and more complex while still holding on to its charm and escapism.
It does feel like we're on the verge of something new and exciting with this show.
It really does. So with all this buzz and potential for change, what are your predictions for season 5? Will Emily find that balance between Paris and Rome, or will she end up somewhere totally unexpected?
Well, if I had to guess, I'd say Paris will still be Emily's main home base. But we might see her traveling to Rome more for work, and maybe even taking that glamorous trip to Saint-Tropez.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
It would be so fun to see her jet-setting between these amazing places, rocking fabulous outfits, of course. But what about the romance? Do you think the writers will finally give us some closure on that front?
I think they'll probably keep the tension going between Gabriel and Alfie for a while, maybe even throw Marcello in there for a few more episodes. But I do think they'll have to give the fans what they want, eventually some kind of resolution to this love triangle.
A resolution. So what do you think that looks like? A grand romantic gesture?
Yeah.
A wedding? Or maybe a shocking breakup that leaves everyone speechless?
I honestly wouldn't rule anything out, but the most important thing is that whatever happens feels genuine and true to the characters and their journeys.
I agree. We don't want a forced ending just to tie things up neatly. It needs to feel organic to this story.
Exactly, and I think the writers have the talent to pull that off. They've created characters we've invested in, and we want to see their stories unfold in a way that feels authentic.
Well said. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Emily in Paris has definitely become a pop culture phenomenon, and it's going to be fascinating to see what direction it takes next.
It's a show that gets people talking and sparks their imagination, and I think that speaks volumes about its lasting appeal.
Absolutely. And on that note, it's time for us to say au revoir for now. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Emily in Paris, with all its drama, romance, and of course, fashion.
It's always a blast to unpack the world of fame, fiction, and the ever-changing landscape of pop culture.
Don't forget, listeners, we want to hear from you. Share your predictions, theories, and any burning questions you have about Season 5 of Emily in Paris. Until next time, stay curious and keep those croissants coming.